Hello and welcome back to Dark Heresy, Germany's favourite pastime. Last time, you destroyed the Blades of Varesh, fled from a demonic herald, and in a show of unusual inquisitorial kindness, gave a horse to a leper. The past few days have been a blur on the Ipcrest as the adrenaline of your combats has worn off. You vaguely remember warp jumping, but where or why is beyond you. You've all woken up after a deep night of rest. What would you like to do?
I would like to go to the med bay,
Okay.
as my leg is still very much hacked and
Yeah.
I would imagine I'd probably be there already.
I'm going to say you guys are either waking up in your rooms or in the med bay.
Yeah.
Lofa, I think your leg is probably like pretty okay. Like you can walk on it. It still feels a little bit rough where the muscles are restitching, but you're pretty much getting top of the range medical treatment here. Lothar's got a lot of scars on his body.
Yeah, he does.
He's obviously got the surgical scars. He's got his old guard scars. He's also got like that weird wineskin coloration we said from the Dark Elder poison. He's got like some funky chainsword scars now. Yeah, he's looking shit.
Thanks.
Yeah,
That helps. Just boosting the morale.
yeah. I think it's quiet in the infirmary. I think there's been a few medical orderlies who have come and gone, but you were alone here.
That's about par for the course.
Tora would at some point will come and visit Lothar as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, good. That's I remember the last time that Tora visited. Very
Actually,
much
sorry, Warwick. I would
Right.
like to direct your attention to the chat.
Okay. My attention is directed to the chat.
This is very concerning. Well, I guess
Is this going to be a private message? I suppose. Oh, he's sending me on a different chat. Okay. Yeah. All right, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like all of that stuff to there, and all of that stuff to the other place.
Okay. This is going to be a very confusing thing to both ask for the for the podcast listeners, the boys and girls back home, and also the two other players who are listening. Furnishings?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Oh, I feel
Interesting.
confused. How about everyone
Okay.
else?
Cool. We're just going to put that idea on a shelf for a second, and then let the role play continue.
Good.
So yeah, I think you got a few people milling around, but yeah, you are alone in the infirmary.
Oh, baby Emperor. I am exhausted. I think Lothar would just kind of, for now, just to get comfy. Like, as far as I know, Lane doesn't want us until until he calls.
You've not heard from Lane. You've not heard from anyone. It's been an absolute blur these past few days.
Gotcha. Days. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy cow. All right.
Like you remember vaguely something about a warp jump, and you assume you're in the warp right now.
Jeez, I'm out of it. All right. Well, I guess Lothar is gonna shimmy up and about. He's been bedridden for the past few days, so good to get up.
You shimmy away. It feels okay. If there was an abstract representation of your wounds, you would be back to full. Say it's like that.
You know, if I go to check myself, I feel like I feel like I'm.
Your leg is no longer yellow; it is green.
Yeah.
I recovered. I feel like I've recovered a total of 10 hit points.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Look at me.
But you take a few bold steps around the infirmary. It's nice here. Jules' ashes are still up on the. Oh no, sorry. The vase for Jewel. Jewel's body is lost, but the vase for Jewel is still up near the medicine cabinet, made by Amelia.
I think Lothar is gonna just reverently nod towards it, and
it does not respond to your reverence.
Oh no, it doesn't need to.
Should you make a Psychana roll for me? No, I'm just fucking.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Hold on.
Yeah, why not?
Hey,
figure that out.
Lothar, I'm trapped in this chair. Please help.
That is the word, especially with Tora on the ship.
Yeah.
No one should be trapped in a jar.
No,
that sounds awful.
God.
That sounds like the worst possible experience to have.
Yeah, you're feeling good. And yeah, you were unable to psychically connect with Jules' spirit as you hurtle through the warp.
Understandable. I wouldn't want to. That sounds scary.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'd probably try and shimmy over towards my room, see kind of what's changed,
Yeah,
if
I think
anything.
you go into your room. Og, what does he say?
What?
So, what Lothar sees, first of all, is a sign on the front that says Tora's room. And you walk in and you see a perfect recreation of what Tora's room used to look like, just shifted down the hallway a little bit. Everything in the exact same place as it was in the other room. This time without the toilet door welded shut.
All right. So, real quick, Lothar's gonna just kind of double take back towards the infirmary, make sure it's still there, right?
Infirmary's still there. Yep.
Okay, cool. And looking back towards this room that now says Tora's room, looking back towards it, it still says Tora's room, right?
That is still correct.
Okay, gonna look once more back towards the infirmary. Still there?
A-okay, boss.
Okay, good. I'm gonna just kind of very slowly shuffle down the hall with, my bum crippled leg, and just look over to where I thought Tora's room was.
Mm. And yeah, you open it, and it is your room, just slightly shifted.
Ah,
And obviously,
uh-huh.
with the toilet, it's been strangely welded up.
Uh-huh. Right.
I think how we worded this is that the actual door has been welded. So like the toilet is like a little ensuite, which
The toilet was welded. The top bit, thick steel
course.
plate, was put on
Yep,
that,
yep.
just in case. And then the toilet door was welded.
I think as well there is sort of scorch marks from a fragmentation grenade in the toilet as well. So it's probably good that it's been welded.
Welded.
Yeah.
Huh. Right. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna just shimmy on back towards Tora's second room, or first room. I'm actually gonna look out towards the armory. I'm gonna make sure that the air conditioning unit is off, so I can look through the window real quick.
Yeah.
Are we currently in the warp?
Yeah, you're currently in the warp. You can look out the window. It's devoid of space outside.
Gotcha. Okay. It's Lowe's gonna shake his head. All right, it's some warp crap. Gonna just go back to the infirmary for now and just kind of sit. I'm gonna shimmy on back over actually to the chapel and just kind of,
As you walk into the chapel, Orthamiel is at the altar. His arms are raised as if he's leading a waltz, and he is moving in a perfect box.
Samuel known for perfect movement inside a box.
As in, it's a waltz step he's doing.
All
alone.
right. All right. So Lothar's gonna just readjust his eyes a little. He's gonna rub his eyes and he's gonna look at his leg. Is there anything weird about his leg or anything like that?
No, your legs all good.
To me, or
Orthamiel has not responded to this entrance into his chapel.
Gotcha. I think Lothar's just going to make the sign of the Aquila to himself, and he's just going to shuffle very quietly back over to the infirmary, back into his bed, where he knows that things have not changed.
Lovely. What's everyone else doing?
Watching Lothar get confused in the hallway.
Yeah. Amelia would be working in the lab fairly often on stuff that I had in mind.
What's Amelia working on upstairs?
Biologic adaptation with the hallucinogenics.
Ooh, interesting.
Remember?
It's got jars of Tora's vomits.
Oh, I vaguely. You're gonna have to remind me and the boys and girls at
like
home.
A poison frog, I was looking to have hallucinogenic touch so that I could calm somebody down or give them a trip if like different states of.
Yeah. I think this rings a bell. Yeah, I think it's basically you're working on a mild sedative or a mild hallucinogenic.
Calm someone down, make them feel good, or really just send them on a trip and then
I like that. I'm going to say it's going to have to be touch based, like physically you have to touch and
Yeah, of course.
secrete something onto them, which is an uncomfortable thing to say.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's
I
good
think
Tora defense as well.
yeah, you're brewing up an interesting combination of like some odd looking frogs, some Tora vomit from Mount Tora,
I have the mushroom samples.
and the mushroom sample, of course. And you're brewing up something, quite a little concoction up there in your little laboratory. Yeah, what's Tora working on?
Tora, would Lothar have asked for the mag hook back from Tora?
Nope,
Like-
probably wouldn't have even thought of it.
Awesome.
You probably still have it.
Yeah, Tora's got a project in mind.
Okay.
So he goes to see if Thalia is in her room.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think you knock on the door, or I don't know. Do you knock on the door?
Yeah, of course I knock on the
Oh,
door.
of course, you're a gentleman.
Yeah, but me and Thalia, after we dealt with the erotic tension that we
Yeah.
had between each other.
Yeah. It's been made up.
Yeah.
So she doesn't respond to the door being knocked on.
Can I comms her?
Yeah.
I'll ditz her. Thalia, you about?
There is no response.
Tora would like to knock again.
Sure. Again, there's no response from her room.
Tora takes a step back,
Mhm.
walks down to the entrance to the laboratory and sticks his head in to where Amelia is working.
She's like blending up a frog right now. Yeah.
And goes, "Hey, Amy. So I'm gonna do a welfare check on Thalia. I'm just clearing it with you first, so Lane doesn't yell at me. All right, bye."
Well, we have comms with each other, right?
Yes, you do.
But we don't have comms with the rest of the
I'm
ship,
going to
do
say
we?
on ship you can call people. I know Lane's spoken to you on an intercom
Okay,
before.
I'm gonna set off the Tora alarm for
Okay.
Thalia that
Yeah.
we installed.
I picture it like that thing from TF2. Like Lane looks up in his office and it's a huge board.
Spy.
Yeah. It's like Tora is doing a welfare check on Thalia. Yeah.
Well, Tora goes back to Thalia's room, knocks one more time, and if he doesn't get a response, we'll go to open the door.
There is no response, and you walk in. Thalia is sat on her sofa. She is dressed in the formal dress that she wore to the Inquisitorium. There is a holodisc playing on the TV. Oh,
Is it
hello.
the dogfight?
It's not a dogfight. It's slowly rewinding back to the start. She
It's
turns to
dog
you and
combat.
says, "Oh, hello, Tora."
Sorry for barging in, Thalia. I knocked a couple times and rang you. I was just wanting to make sure you were okay. What's fucking up, huh?
What do you mean? She says.
Just asking what you doing.
The vid capture on the screen, it begins to repeat again from the top. You catch eyes of, it's sort of a first-person point of view film, all in black and all without sound. A person is running through Hive City. You can see their hands moving in front of you. They seem to be staring at a sign that says "Welcome to Delphis Prime." They turn, and a thin hand is extended towards an armored figure in the distance, dressed in green and gold, who fire a large gun at the camera. There is no sound. It then begins to repeat, and you get an icy cold feeling running down your spine. Thalia turns to you and says, "Oh, nothing, I was just relaxing."
Oh, that's good. Look, you are an incredible tailor, and I've been doing some thinking. Like, my lovely jacket that I wear, I was wondering if you could help me kind of, I've got a harness that goes with it. If you can help me kind of like make some adjustments to it and put some hooks into the jacket and like kind of have the harness body in it so I can use these two mag hooks more effectively.
As in,
boy howdy.
So you could attach directly from the jacket to things.
Yeah, like an inlining of the jacket has got like the harness to it, and then it has like the little metal clips on it, like for a climbing harness, so I can like mag hook. Like, are you familiar with the classic Terran parable of Spidey Man?
I've heard of the Man of the Spiders. Yes.
Yeah, man of the man of the spiders swinging through the air, and like I kind of get mechanically it wouldn't quite work like that, but I find I like climbing things, and I like me mag hooks, and I like having two things in both hands. So this seems like a natural progression.
I'll leave it with me, Tora, and I'll see what I can do. The vid screen has reset and is going again from this same film.
Why are you watching a snuff film?
I'm not watching anything, she says as she takes your jacket.
But what's on the screen there?
She sort of furrows her brows, says there's nothing on the screen, Tora.
Tora leans into the microbead and goes, Amelia, the thing happened that you said might happen. I don't know whether I'm crazy or Thalia is crazy. And you said next time I thought Thalia was crazy instead of thinking she was crazy, would just talk to you. Do you have a moment?
Lothar's lowering the volume on his microbead, just barely audible because he forgot to do so.
Yeah.
Where's BGZ?
You assume he's in the gardens.
Is it, sure. BGZ, could you come to the laboratory and monitor these frogs for a few minutes?
That is a good thought.
He slaps his knees and stands up vigorously from the gardens. He grabs his radium carbine and comes with you to the laboratory and stands at attention next to the frogs.
But I give him several signs of the things going wrong that he can exterminate them for.
I think the frogs look at him, his visor, and there is no response inside. I'm going to say as well, you've kind of repaired up BGZ. He's looking fresh.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
But yeah, you leave the frogs in his safe, his safe command.
All right, I'll head on over.
Sure.
Knock on the open door and walk in.
Yeah, you see the same film that's playing. It is, again, it's first person, someone looking pointedly at a sign saying, "Welcome to Delthis Prime." They turn around and extend their hand towards someone out in a sort of an open palm at an armoured figure dressed in green and gold who fires a large gun at the camera, and then it resets.
What kind of gun? Is it like a
It's a silhouette
gun?
you can't really see, but they're firing from the waist. It seems to be quite large. It's possibly some kind of bolt gun.
And just at a glance, does Thalia look off?
Uh,
She's wearing the dress, which is kind of strange, but like her eyes, are they normal? That there's just no typical signs of something going on.
Give me a fellowship test plus 20 for me, please.
Great fellow.
Yeah, just fellowship. Your friends. Your girl bosses together. Yeah.
Colonel boss.
I'll re-roll it.
Perfect. Target a 50. 50-50 roll.
I can't auto pass, right? No.
No,
it's
not
only
with,
plus
not
10,
with fellowship.
isn't it?
Only auto. Yeah, only plus 10.
There we go.
Failure.
Barely though.
That's 51. Looking for a
on.
50. It's bad news. Yeah, she looks as you remember her, just wearing a dress from the Inquisitorium, which she's not worn for. It's probably been like about a year actually since the Inquisitorium. I think with warp travel, come to think of it.
I would argue that I don't see any obvious signs of this, that, or the other, but
No.
the dress is still on.
The dress is odd, yeah.
Okay, ignoring the TV for a moment, why are you wearing the dress?
She looks down at the dress as if not really realizing she was wearing it at all. She goes, "Oh, I just felt like wearing it today, I suppose."
No special occasion.
She shakes her head.
I still find that odd, I'm gonna say. Like, despite not seeing anything, I can still feel like things are off, right?
Yeah, your vibes are off, I'll say.
Okay, well, my next question is okay, Tor and I have seen the same thing. We're also in the warp. Who the fuck? Like, I want to just. Can I actually check out the CD, like the TV and stuff? Like, is there actually a disc in there? Is there?
There is No disc in the TV.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
well, first off, hold on. Things don't need a disc to
Dahlia.
work.
Do you have a streaming service on your TV? Because
Did
Lane
you buy
has
Netflix?
Lane has explicitly told me I'm not allowed to use the ship's wife, the Noosphere, to stream movies anymore, and I would feel it was a right fucking injustice if you were allowed to and I wasn't.
She grabs the remote control and presses it, the off switch, and says, "Look, the vid screen's off." For the
But
rest
it's
of
still
you,
play-
it's still playing. It's playing that
Dahlia.
same film, saying "Welcome to Delthis Prime," and then the first-person vision is being shot.
Can I
Fuck.
do something?
Yeah, do whatever you want, Trock. Your game. Tell me what you
here's
like.
I kind of want to like try to override it with technology.
Okay.
Can I view with simply through technology to view whether or not the screen is on, versus my human perception?
Okay, yeah, as in like basically running diagnostics is displaying something, or is it? Yeah, cool. Give me a techies test. I'm going to say -10 on this one, please. It's regular technology, but it's quite an unusual thing to try and do.
Would I still get the bonus from my?
Yeah, you Macadendra, I'm going to say so.
Yeah, so then it's plus 0. Okay.
Awesome.
How securely is the TV bolted to the wall?
I'm going to say it's. I've always described Thalia's rooms as nicer than yours, so I'm going to say it's a wall-mounted telly. I think, Amelia, the TV is mechanically not on. There is no reason why these cathodes should be displaying things on the screen right now. The pixels should not be flaring into color.
But I'm gonna turn to Tora and be like, I think we need Lothar.
No,
There might be some.
Lothar's in the medical bay. I've got a great
It's
idea.
fine.
I'm gonna raise
Dahlia.
the volume on my microbeat because you still very clearly have it on.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
What
yeah,
if we could just take the TV with us to Lothar?
No, well,
Wait,
we
also
could,
Thalia.
but why would we mess with Thalia's room?
Yeah,
Well-
why are you trying to grab my TV?
Well, okay, hey, Thalia. So me and Amelia might be crazy, not you. I hope this doesn't bring any concern.
Okay.
Does the name Delphis Prime mean anything to you?
She kind of, I think, furrows her brows a little bit at you. Says, "I don't think so. No."
Also, what were you doing before you were sitting? When I walked in, it looked like you were sitting there looking at the vid screen.
I was just taking a moment. It's been a long couple of weeks with you on Algidar. Not just you,
And-
obviously, the rest of you.
You didn't hear the call or me banging at the door.
No?
I don't like any of this. I don't like much of this. What's going on? So-
I think there's some other investigations we might need doing, but press it to the bead. Lothar, could you come to Thalia's room?
Yeah, sure. Give me a second here. What's going on?
Have you
just hearing
noticed-
a little bit of it?
We'll
you-
inform you when you get here.
That's
Just as an
Okay.
aside, have you noticed any of our companions that are still on the ship that are being a bit fucking weird?
other than normal, or
No,
Yeah,
like-
other than you
yeah.
moving your rooms around.
Oh no!
wait,
look,
what?
So I don't know how to tell this to you, Lothar. My room was declared a biohazard. Apparently,
Did you-
no one had gone in, and I'd left all of those poop buckets in there. It was not good. It was not. 2 servitors gave their life to cleaning that room.
Did
But
you
I just-
move? Did you move everything out of that room?
Oh
into
yeah, I
the biohazard?
moved.
Great.
I moved the nudie mags. It's alright. It's fine.
I'll be right there, and I'm going to lower the volume.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pause for a second and go. Actually, Amelia, yeah, or Famiel was kind of he always acts weird, but he was acting kind of weird in the chapel. He's like, have you seen him dance before?
Yeah,
Yes.
at the
But, like-
Cut shapes in
Inquisitorium.
the Inquisitorium.
Well, I mean, with actual grace, not like how he did at the Inquisitorium.
Oh, that's fucking weird. We'll put
I
that on
mean,
the weird pile.
I don't
Uh-huh.
know. Have I?
I don't think you've seen Orfamiel Boogie much. If you remember at the Inquisitorium, he was dancing with one of Willem's acolytes and then fucked it and end
He
up
made an
being
ass
caught
of
by
himself.
her. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's
No,
impossible,
that was
though. That's
Tora.
No,
I
wait,
did-
no,
Tora-
sorry, you both fucked it. But
So-
if I distinctly remember, Tora went head over heels on his tits.
the
Or
fact
family
that
managed to be
there's some
caught by them.
strangeness going on.
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely put it on the list of oddities, but it's lesser than just coming up here and
What-
we'll inform you.
Where
It'd be
up
better Thalia's room.
here? All right. Lothar is going to get out of the infirmary. He's going to step down towards his new room filled with shit. As he goes to open the door, he's going to look back towards the lift. He's go, right, I'm not messing around this time. And he's going to grab his las pistol, and he's going to grab the machete, and he's going to grab the Space Marine knife.
Yep.
Yep, the Astartes sword. He's not fucking around with this. And he's going to go into the lift. He's going to hit
You're not going
button.
to take the stairs?
Oh yeah, there's been stairs. I haven't mentioned it yet. There's an escalator. That's how Lane gets around.
I hate that. Right, so I'm going to hit the button. I'm going to look at the stairs and go, no, not today.
Not today.
Is there any servitor or anything like that in the stair or the lift?
No, it is empty in there.
Thank the Emperor. Okay. But all right, I'm going to keep in constant communication with you. I'm entering the lift right now.
The girl from
If you turn on your
Ipanema starts
visor, I
playing.
can see what you're seeing.
Turn on what?
Your visor.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry. All right. And
Actually, in fact, Tora, does Tora ever even turn his off? That's a good question.
I don't think he knows how.
What, micro beam?
No,
His vision.
visor, the vision.
No,
I can look.
No. Tora would have immediately forgotten that Amelia can see out of his eyes.
So here's what. Well, not your eyes. It's like a thing, hovering in front of your face there. Held
Yeah.
up by, yeah. Here's my question for you, and possibly answered by the previous tech.
Yes, you have
or-
seen Tora masturbate. I'm sorry, like.
not that.
Okay.
I could censor whatever it's,
It's pixelated.
Yeah. But when looking at the TV as part of the tech use of like tech versus perception, I can then look through like, okay, Tora is seeing this, but is his visor seeing this kind of thing? Yeah. The visor isn't though.
No, the visor is. It's seeing his vision. His vision is seeing that.
But the TV is not on, and my technology is viewing it, and I am, but Thalia isn't.
Can we show Thalia on our vid screen the video playing?
Yeah, you can like hook it up to your
like
data slate.
Yeah, so like the recorded transmission.
Yeah. She looks at it and looks at you and says, "There's nothing on. What's gotten into you two?" And again, it repeats.
I know that this is the strangest thing that's occurred.
Lothar has a shiver go down his spine as he's in the lift.
And yeah, I think you reached this floor, this upper deck of the Ipcrest.
As I do, I'm going to try to patch into like Lane's side of things. Guillotine to command.
Oh, that's very formal. Hello.
Something's screwy happening over at Thalia's room. I wanted to give you a heads up, and I wanted to not use names just in case.
All right.
Like he turns his head to the flashing Tora fuckery alarm.
That means that we can choose who's we're sending to. We don't have to send to everybody.
Yeah. He says, "Well, I'm just in my office right now, so I hope it goes well."
Anything playing on your TV?
I'm just watching the Ruggerball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Never mind.
Or
Fair.
as a physical reaction to that suggestion.
Gotcha. I'll let you know if there's anything else. And guillotine out.
Actually, you don't know about the TV yet. We haven't told you.
Oh, you don't? Oh, God, you're right.
Oh, the cannon.
Oh my god.
Minus one.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you lose one RP.
Yeah.
I lost a fate point.
You lost a fate point for bad RP. Fail RP. No, that's fine. I'm going to say you've caught it on.
Kill off my character session.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you arrive at Thalia's room, and I think you see the telly, and then let's say you call Lane, just to make sure the timeline is secure.
Yeah, picking on him.
No, you're right though. You're absolutely right. It keeps me honest.
So, Lothar, what do you see on TV?
Lothar, you see the same thing. It is someone running, looking at a sign that says "Welcome to Delphis Prime." They turn, they extend their hand towards an armored figure in green and gold who fires a gun at the camera. It then rewinds and then repeats.
Bigger size-wise, like a starter size?
Taller and bulkier than your average human, but I wouldn't say a Astarte size. It's quite
Ogren.
difficult. No, Ogren's bigger than Space
No, I'm
Marines.
kidding.
It's difficult to tell due to the perspective of the. It's difficult to tell due to the perspective of the camera. It seems to have an odd sort of almost fisheye kind of field of view.
Lothar,
Uh-huh.
you see a vid playing, correct?
I sure do.
The TV
I'm gonna
is
guess
not
Thalia
on.
doesn't.
Well, not just that, the TV isn't even on.
No.
It sure looks on.
Right. I've run tests. It's not on. Something's wrong with us, or something's wrong with others, or this is something specifically being shown only to us.
Tora would
Right.
like Tora thinking that, well, if it's all in our head, maybe I can increase the brightness. So Tora would like to scrunch his face really hard and
Okay.
kind of like
Psychic powers.
wheel the remote in his head to up the brightness a little bit.
Okay.
It's easier to see.
Could you make a
Oh.
willpower test minus 40 for me, please?
Oh, that's me.
Warwick, I resent you
I'm-
on Discord.
Yeah,
by
I'll
the
have
way.
a little look see in a second.
Can I
Not super important, but
preemptively
it's
spend
there.
a fate to not do it at minus 40? So even if I fail, I can't fate roll. I'm using my faith in the Unshaken Emperor and his divine intervention
Okay.
So I will burn a fate preemptively and roll it without the negative, but I've still only willpower 30.
No.
Okay, so willpower minus 40.
Can you even make this?
Oh.
I could roll a 1.
Yeah, good roll.
Oh,
Just one
close though.
Quite
That's
very-
very-
This is minus 10.
That was a great fucking roll
That
though.
was.
It was.
It was an 18.
But Tora, your squinting is making my head hurt. Are you alright?
Out of curiosity, since BGZ's been with us, I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask him to.
Up.
I'm gonna inform him, and ask him.
Oh,
what he
Tora will
sees.
go trade out and go look at the frogs.
No,
Always.
not at all.
You would have got the. I've got poison dart frogs on me. You probably would have got them.
You're gonna steal my frogs.
He shakes his jacket and 12 frogs fall out, jumping around Thalia's room.
Okay, no. If you want it, fine. I say, Tora, if you want to go, and then you hear these little like whirring, my shoulders like kind of extend for a moment, and then off both my hands come out 2 mechanical spiders. I say,
Hey!
I want their eyes on everything.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Tora takes him and like puts him on his shoulders.
Awesome. You feel fucking great.
Yeah.
You get to the laboratory where BGZ is there. He gives you a kind of salute as you walk in.
It's I salute back and then
Yeah.
we dive into our
Oh.
signature handshake.
It does look good.
About 5 hours long.
Yeah. And you
Oh, we
take
got time.
over Frog Watch. BGZ marches to Thalia's room.
Hello, little boys.
He's leaning right up against a glass.
Amelia's just like got that anime, like vein on her head,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
rubbing.
Yeah, BGZ is here in Thalia's room.
So something tells me that we're experiencing
Well-
what I think Lane calls, with big air quotes, warp fuckery. I'm gonna guess, but the question is, why is it only us?
Well, BGZ do you view anything on the screen?
He points at it, turns to you, and says something in binary. In the chat I've just posted, this ship is not this ship is not this ship.
The end is not the end is not the end. I mean, oh, what's that game?
What did he say?
Hold on.
Oh, that's Stanley Parable, actually, that's from, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's,
you're thinking of, yeah.
that's what you remind me of with
Mm.
that. Okay. Well, is that all he has? Okay. Like I like look at her concern, but like, what more do you know? I guess.
He repeats it again.
That's,
He points it. It looks as if he is saying something. He's gesticulating if he is, but in binary, that's all that is coming out.
so.
Amelia, this is kind of weirding me out. What did he say?
As far as I can understand, he said, this ship is not this ship. However, I believe he's trying to say more than that, and I don't know if that's me being fucked with or him being fucked with.
The vid screen starts again. Welcome to Delphis Prime.
This is really, really, really weird.
Can we? I'd like to. Tora would like to buzz the big man.
For
Sure.
Lane, yeah.
Yeah. Breaker, this is Biggest Dickus. You there?
Hello.
Oh, hello, Dad. Hey, look, would you know anything about a planet called Delphis Prime? You've been around the block once or twice or 1,000 times. How old are you? Actually, don't answer that question.
I'm old enough to know there are certain things that I will not discuss with Throne Agents.
All right, I feel like that's an answer in itself.
Can the rest of us hear what Lane is
We
saying?
can at least hear what Torres saying.
I think so.
Tora for sure. His outer communication feed is 100% fed into the microbead system, so everyone can hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give
I'd
me.
like to say at this point, I want to just kind of be like, guys, let's go join Tora in the laboratory.
That's a good call. Thalia too?
Oh, hey, Thalia.
I think
someone
Thalia was busy before we came.
Oh,
Can someone
right.
ask? Can someone still ask her if she can sew those bits to my jacket?
Yes, I'll do that, Tora. That's fine.
Yay! Thanks, Thalia.
She sits down and with her cybernetics begins the long process of attaching the harness on the inside of your weird frog leather jackets.
Gotcha. Weird. Amelia, I'm not liking this one bit. This is worse than the lift thing.
I guess as well, the binary.
Hmm.
I guess I'm hearing that regardless, but you're saying like it looks like he's moving addition. No one else knows it, so they can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask them to repeat what they hear.
Tora has his own interpretation of what BGZ says.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean shit. Do we have? I'm gonna maybe mess up the name. Do we have any way to contact Willem?
No.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Willem is like, last you heard of Willem, he was like saying that he's going off like the. Willem basically said, "I'm going off to the arse end of the galaxy. Wish you could join me, Lane. Would be a good laugh." And Lane was like, "Haha, that would be fun, wouldn't it?" And then
Right, but he also appeared like naked and said, "The name begins with K."
No, the name ends with K.
Or whatever. You know, like I'm just. Is it possible to have a refresher of Willem interactions?
Yeah. So Willem's interactions, in terms of your interactions with him chronologically, Lothar, a fella appeared quite a while ago in what is now Tora's bathroom, who had blood.
That used to be Willem's room. Oh no!
He had blood.
Put it all back. Put it all back.
Nope.
He had blood streaming from his nose from a fall in the shower. He basically said, "I'm going to contact you again. Don't be freaked out." And then he disappeared. Next time you saw him, he was quite a bit older than that, maybe like 10 or so years older. Was at the Inquisitorium.
And he said, "Go through with the don't don't let me talk myself out of the plan,
No.
or do not stop me.
Oh, that was the first time he spoke to you. He was like,
Don't
basically,
stop.
don't stop me from going where I'm going.
Right.
Lane
and
will
then
try and
don't
stop
tell
me.
Lane.
So yeah, and then you saw him at the Inquisitorium. Next time you saw him was a much younger version of Willem, was at the Thragandia Force Scholar Progenum, where he had been seemingly hit or shot in the shoulder, and basically said, as you said, Trog, its name ends with KA. He drew it on the mirror, and then he disappeared again. As for where he is now, you assume he is where he said to Lane, "This is where I'm off to."
Segmentum obscurus, right?
Yeah, he was like, "I'm going off into the arse end of nowhere." I think he said there's a heretical cult that's dealing with Xenos artifacts.
Hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Standard Inquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah,
could
you have
go
no
to the
way of talking.
astropaths.
Potentially could go.
Maybe.
You do not usually have clearance to go up that far. You've only been up there escorted by Lane.
But we've only been up there before we were granted the rank of thrown agents and given more power and permission on the ship.
That is true. You've not asked to go up there yet. What would you like to do?
You got the rosary on you?
The rose. Wait, hold on. Lothar's going to check his pockets really quick because I'm pretty sure I had given it to one of you. Oh, no, I do have it. Okay. The rosette we're talking about, I assume?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
the rosary. You know,
Yeah,
with the
I-
beads.
Yeah, it does have beads.
Could have
I
a
never
small
noticed.
chain on it, yeah.
Oh, imagine
Yeah, what
how
about it?
far it could go up. Well, like, I second Amelia's idea of maybe we ask Willem a question, because Willem seems involved in this altogether.
So bear in mind, astropathic messages take quite literally months to get there and back again.
Yeah, we got.
Well, I was just asking.
yeah,
if
true.
there's
You're
a
also-
way,
In the warp.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't.
Can you only send astropathic messages in real space? I guess
It's a lot fucking weirder if you send it whilst you're inside the warp because you're
Yeah,
not
well, also,
physically in
wouldn't
space.
it, like, in the warp, wouldn't we draw attention to ourselves doing it?
Potentially,
that's a
yes.
good point. Can we check out Off-Famil's room to see if there's any EMF readers? And but for warp fuckery and kind of walk about.
Yeah, you can go. I say you merry band of gentlemen go down to Orphanil's room. It is
Well, I'm
covered
still
in wax as
concerned with,
usual.
like, I just want to, kind of ask BGZ, so what did you do earlier today?
he repeats
That's what
the
I
same
figured.
again.
I was like, well, assuming he can understand me, at this point, I don't even know. Just tell him, I am only getting the same message from you. We need to communicate differently.
He says something else in binary. It is the
And
same message
I
again.
shake my head no. Although the message is bad, but
The video starts again. What do you want to do?
video starts again where?
Oh yeah, where are you? Are you with
In the
BGZ?
laboratory.
Oh, sorry, you're in the laboratory. Yeah. I mean, you left
Although
the
we
telly
did
in the house.
record it, I thought we said we put on like a
Yeah,
different
you've got
screen.
you've got it on your data slate. You've got the recording of maybe like 10 seconds of film.
Hmm.
But again, it seems
Weird.
that anyone else you show that data slate to, it's not showing that.
Anything.
Oh, but now we've got a portable version of it.
Hmm.
No, I vote for just yet until we can talk to Lane direct because something's way off. Like, way off. I mean,
It's
it sounded like
messing around with technology as well here, so
not
hard
just
to know
that.
what's real and what's not.
That's kind of what I mean. It sounds like he knew, though, what we were talking about and didn't want to talk about it. So,
Well, here's the thing as well, though. There was a demon problem, which is why our family wasn't with us.
right.
The four of us have not been on the ship for a time.
Uh-huh.
Despite the oddity that I'm getting the same message from BGZ no matter what he says. I don't know that we can trust anything but ourselves.
I never trust anyone other than ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
And
That's-
BGC's message, once again, is this ship is not this ship. So, are we where we are?
It certainly
Is Thalia
feels, looks, and
Thalia?
tastes
Is
like the
Lane
Crest.
Lane? Should we listen to what they say?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Usually,
We need. I'm doing my best to write up the inconsistencies on my, internally here. I'd show you my slate of like the various things we've discovered so far. But all I can do is say I don't know what to do in the.
please, for the love of God, Warwick, tell me that the data slate he shows me isn't blank.
No. He's opened up a new tab, or she's opened up a new tab on their Chrome browser and has typed
Oh,
in.
thank God.
Getting
Well,
network
this is
connectivity
something
problems.
that I've typed myself as opposed to the video. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
see. Like, I guess, if you can see it or not.
Yeah, you can see Amelia's notes,
Gotcha.
and the rest of the shit on the data slate seems fine.
I don't know. I'm faulting to tried and true. If weird shit happens on the ship, go to the chapel. And unfortunately, there's weird shit happening in the chapel. So I don't know what to do. I just know I don't like it.
What's the plan, gang?
Lothar,
Yeah.
time for you to take command.
All right. Let's.
I've given you as much information as I can understand right now. But I don't know what to do.
Then let's go to the chapel at
User
least
entered your
and
channel.
see if we can't try and slap some sense into Orphamuel and figure out what's going on with him.
Sorry, my mic went on mute.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to say you guys make your way down the lift towards the chapel. When you go in there, Orphamuel is again doing that same box step.
Orphamuel.
He does not respond.
Orphamuel.
Nothing.
I hate your eggs.
There's
We've got
regrettably
we've
nothing.
got Iron Brew.
There's still nothing as you're heckling him from the
I'm
pews.
surprised that Tora's first instinct was not to dance with him.
Oh God, that's a great idea, Amy. Go and dance with him.
Cool. Make a agility roll, please.
Alright.
Oh no, I think it was the acrobatics for dancing, wasn't it?
No, it's fellowship and
That's for sexy dancing.
fuck.
Ooh. Are you telling me I can have sex with Orphamuel?
And navigate surface.
Yeah, the size of this lad.
Sorry, acrobatics or athletics?
I'm going to say acrobatics for this. I think acrobatics is athletics is cardio. Acrobatics is funk and soul.
What's twerking?
That's demonology.
A sin.
Yeah. Tora, I think as you try and basically move to grab Orphamuel and take the non-leading part of this waltz, I think his hand is like rock solid and it kind of pushes you and you stagger back into the altar at the end of the chapel. He continues dancing unfazed.
Don't like any of this.
Neither do I.
For DM's notes.
Yep.
I have taken back one of my spiders and the other
Okay.
one is in the lab.
Frog watch.
Yes.
Love it.
Oh, the frog's being unattended right now. I must go.
Yeah, that's what's happening in the chapel. What's the plan?
I don't know. I
If
kind of thought
do
something more was
demons
gonna.
bleed, if he's a demon, and I cut him, doesn't bleed, it's a demon. If we
There's
cut him
anything I
and he
learned.
does bleed, not a demon.
Demons don't like butter in their tea.
That's true.
Demons do not like butter in their teeth.
It's an exalted reference.
Oh, I
to
see.
Jimmy. But anyway.
Shout out to my boy Jimmy.
Yeah.
Listening in to the Occupod live here at Occupod Studios.
God bless you, Jimmy.
There was a big argument about it. That's all.
Oh, right. I just assumed it was something that Orphamuel had told Amelia that she had just ran with. Like, oh yeah, obviously demons don't like butter in their tea. That's fine.
Sure. I mean, we could go with that too. Yeah.
Job done.
Maybe. I mean, of notable people to speak to. We can speak to some of the stormtroopers or something. Or I mean, we've talked to Thalia. We haven't talked to Lane.
Oh, we've tried to. I mean, if you want to try and
Okay,
message
go-
him,
Let's just go to Lane's office.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
think
we'll
he's there.
catch him in his prom dress.
What? I don't know if I want to.
So, as you go into the office, Lane is dressed in his formal clothing he wore at the Inquisitorium, his armoured carapace with the dark hooded robe. He's got that odd pistol tucked into his belt alongside that long curved power sword. He has his data slate out and he's kind of watching it quite casually. His feet up are on his desk. Oh, hello, he says as you come in.
Why are you dressed like that?
All right, Lothar.
Hi.
Why are you dressed like that?
Because I've been in the infirmary. Why are you dressed in regalia? What's going on?
He kind of looks down at his clothing and says, "Oh, I just felt like wearing it today, you know."
That's a
Why?
Well,
When was the last time you wore it, Lane?
he scratches his non-existent stubble, touching at the scar on his chin, and goes, "Quite some time ago, probably the conclave, I suppose."
And the time you wore it before that, another kind of big important event, right?
Well, I think I actually wore it getting this lot off of Perrin Primus before that.
Like a big show and dance, and probably the
Yeah.
time before that was a big important event as well. So, why'd you just? A bit weird that you just suddenly just felt like wearing it today.
He shrugs, sort of waves a data slate, and goes, "I guess. I mean, we are in the warp, you know. Strange moods," he says with a sort of gentle grin. "Anyway, can I help you with anything? I'm watching the Rugger."
Oh, who's playing?
It is the All Blues. The All Blues, love that team. Are up against the Groxes.
Oh, fuck. Well, the Groxes have had a terrible season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fucking, what? They just keep trying to walk it in.
Oh, what are they thinking, eh?
What are they thinking?
Anyway, what was it you wanted?
To figure out kind of what's going on here. Thalia was also dressed in her formal attire, too.
Yeah, she wasn't even wearing a card. Came as a tire.
That's a bad
Nice one.
taste in my mouth.
Okay, the last I'm trying to piece things together as I'm thinking here too. So the last time we've seen him wear this was the Inquisitorium.
That is correct.
Was Jewel alive still?
At the Inquisitorium, yes, because he died on the Venator Magna.
immediately
So I'm gonna ask, where's Jewel been? I haven't seen him in the infirmary.
He kind of looks at you and says, I don't know.
You think you could ask him to come to the office?
Yeah, sure. And he, I think he gets one of the many Voxcasters underneath his desk. And he goes, Jill, could you,
duct tape.
yeah, Jill, could you could you come to my office on this deck, please? And then soon after, Joel has returned to the office. He is dressed in his dress uniform that he wore at the Inquisitorium.
I just give Lothar a kind of look.
Lothar's gonna nod and look to Lane, side-eyeing Jewel, and say, Lane, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, me too.
Don't pull the rug back just yet. So
No. I'm not
Lane.
going to. Go ahead.
Oh no! I was just going to ask. Does the Venator Magna, does the name of that ship mean anything?
Yeah, that's Avula's.
Okay, yeah. So we went and killed Avula, and then we all came back.
He sort of narrows his eyes. He says, "Sorry, what was that? I missed that."
Venator Magna, Avula's ship.
Fuck.
That,
I don't. The BGC has been with us way before this.
oh
so-
yes, yeah. Shit.
Right
So
or no? I'm now confused on time shit.
I think I can answer that one. BGZ has absolutely been with us.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
up and
He
through.
was there at the Inquisitorium
Oh,
and
yeah.
all this stuff.
BGC wasn't with you on the at the Inquisitorium. He was left
He
back on
wasn't-
the Idris. But he was part of the
But
Inquisition. at
what
that
I
point.
mean was he
Yeah.
was with us before
Yes,
then.
absolutely.
Fine. So timeline-wise, well, all this outfit, the Inquisitorium. What happened? What happened afterward? Sorry, that's just my. I've got a vid feed of one of my dog fights playing, and I've turned it off.
There you go.
I think he narrows his eyes at you for a second. I think you blink, and Jewel is no longer in the room. Lane looks up from the data slate at and goes, "Oh, what can I help you all with?"
Hi, Dad. Look, are there any articles about Order Kronos related stuff?
That's obviously that's sort of classified information. Tori, you shouldn't really know about the Order Kronos, really. We had a few leaflets from some warp travel.
But like, would we have policies about if like maybe some weird Order Kronos-y stuff was happening on a ship? We're just investigating something.
I would have. Well, I'll be honest, Tori, it's not really my speciality. But I imagine just don't really touch anything. I assume that'd be the best thing to do. I don't really understand that kind of stuff much. There's a reason I'm with the Order Xenos. Anyway, look, I really need to get back to my Ruggerball. If there's nothing else you all.
No, but
who's playing in the Ruggerball?
Oh, it's the All Blues and the Groxes.
Okay. No, but we may come back later.
Lothar's not going to leave with you guys. Lothar's going to stay right here, I think.
Now I don't know if my frogs are real or not.
Oh my god, have we been tripping because you blended a frog?
Oh no, it got in the vents.
It's not actually the wharf, which is high as shit.
This entire session is Amelia actually invited us in to see her project, and one of the blenders
Yeah, everyone's just on the
exploded.
laboratory floor, just.
It's the drug trip episode, yeah.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
yeah. Lothar, you stay in Lane's office as the other two leave, and he says, "Can I help you, Lothar?"
Lane, I think there's a lot going on here timeline-wise. Something's really, really screwy.
Okay.
What are our current ranks?
You are Colytes of the Ordo Xenos.
A part of me's wondering,
an Inquisitor.
out of character. A
Yes.
part of me would wonder, out of character,
Mhm.
do I have anything on me from that ceremony of becoming a throne agent that would show him that, hey, we are throne agents?
No, except for the Rosette, because he gave you that
Yeah, you have.
right before the Venator Magna.
Got you. Lane, do you still have your rosette?
I've got several Rosettes.
Oh,
I don't just have one. What kind of Inquisitor would I be?
it's fair. Lane, I think something's wrong. I think that something has happened with the warp travel here. It feels like we're blended into two of the same Ipcrest in different parts of time here or something. I don't know why, but we are from a different timeline where we have already gone through the Venator Magna, and you had given us this back, and I'm going to show him the Rosette because we earned it.
He again furrows his brow to you. I think he reaches in. He looks down at the drawer. He pulls open the drawer. He reaches in and grabs another identical rosette. And when you look at the one in your hand, it's no longer there. What are you talking about, Lothar?
I'm talking about.
Oh shit!
Like, do you need me to call someone if you want to go to the infirmary? I know warp travel can be stressful. I think you need some rest, Lothar.
No. That's I think. I don't know. Do you? Earlier we called you over the Vox, right? We called you over the microbeads.
Yeah.
You called us throne agents.
I don't think I did. Why'd I do
You
that?
did. Because we are.
All right, don't get ahead of yourself, Lothar. You're acolytes. You will earn my trust when I see fit.
Right.
Listen, I appreciate this, chat, Lothar. I do enjoy your company occasionally, but I feel like you should probably just get some rest. I think you're overstressed. I really need to watch the All Blues absolutely demolish the Groxes.
Now, wondering about that, could I see the screen with you for a second, just to see where they're at? I haven't been able to keep up with the rugger.
Oh, I didn't realise you were a ruggerman like myself. And he flips the data slate round to you. On his data slate is a rough map of a hive city saying Delphis Prime.
Huh. A part of me thinks that noise just now was Sora furiously typing it into his data slate.
You like listening at the door.
These are the basic. Just to fix up the notes.
Yes.
This is kind of what I've just been writing down.
Thanks, Lane. I think I might take your invitation here, and I'll go lay down for a little bit. We're gonna need all our strength that we can for the Venator, I guess.
That's correct, Lothar. You get some shut eye, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. I'll let you know how the game goes when you wake up.
Thanks. Yeah. All right. And Lothar's gonna get up and go.
Okay. Amelia and Tori, you're outside the room as Lothar leaves.
As to say, I assume we haven't heard any of the conversation from Lothar.
I'm gonna say the room's probably soundproofed.
Right, unless he had his bead on. But regardless, like
you get filled in.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
You're not here with us yet, or are you?
I'm gonna say you just walked out of the office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was just to say that Tor and I are just like this seems to be exactly the warp kind of fuckery as we've been told. I don't know how relevant time is, except for the fact that whatever might be doing this might only have information up to a certain time.
Right. Out of character, if I could.
Yes, hello.
When we had the captive there in the brig that got possessed, was that around this time frame as well, or was that earlier?
Oh no, that was way earlier.
Okay, because I don't know. I'm trying to think of all options.
Yeah, it's hard to recall.
You can go investigate the brig if you like. You've not been there a while.
Yeah,
the whole ship to explore.
I'm gonna mention one other thing to keep in mind. Willem was there until we said something that made him not there. Same thing with Jewel, or did Jewel leave the room? I don't remember.
Literally, you blink and he disappeared.
Exactly. And as soon as something was mentioned that contradicted with Jewel, then he left or vanished from us as well.
As did the Rosette.
Well, that we don't know about until Lothar says.
No. Oh no, absolutely. I would have told you that part.
Lothar, as you've left the room, the Rosette is back in your pocket.
Yeah, when I went to go show him Lothar's gonna glare at Tora.
What? Look, not everything that goes missing from your pockets is I'm responsible. 90% of the things that go missing from your pockets, I am responsible. That
Right.
does not mean 100% of the time I am responsible.
It
I
doesn't.
think Lothar, I think Tora understands the gravity of this situation.
No, I don't understand gravity whatsoever, but
He understands the situation.
I understand the situation.
Okay, well, that makes one of us then, because I don't know what the hell's going on.
My point being, I don't think he's going to be fucking around with us when fuckery is already happening.
Yeah, it's fun when I do it. It's not fun when other people do it.
We can investigate whatever we want, but we may not even actually be in a ship. You've heard of people being in a coma before and people trying to get through to them, right?
Right.
That's what the video almost feels like to me. We're not experiencing reality correctly, and somebody's trying to get through to us with this message.
Oh, by the
But I
Emperor.
don't have a theory beyond that. What is Delphus Prime to us? What is this?
Tora, give me a intelligence test plus 20 for me.
Go into the chapel and we're on again. Flat intelligence?
Yeah, plus 20. But yeah, just a stat.
I'm really thinking about going back to the infirmary.
Tora, something hits you. You know what Delphus Prime is. It is a hive city on the planet of Delphus. You have been there once in your life. That was to do a contract for Lane a long, long time ago.
Boys, Delphus is where I got my start with Lane.
What?
I was sworn to secrecy about it, and even though we're stuck in the wibbly wobbly, I think it might be better to keep it that way. But there was a high priority target that needed to be taken out, and I was the man for the job. So I did the job, and that's how I ended up in prison for as long as I did, until Lane eventually, because I knew Lane was working really hard about getting me out the entire time, finally got me out.
So,
Right.
would this be a message that's relevant to your past, or would this be a message that's relevant to our present or future? If we go by what I'm discussing, my potential theory here of it taking from what it knows up to to whatever it knows, it could potentially take from all of our histories.
Right.
But then again, only you and Lane know about this. No one else is known, so that does kind of break.
Hello.
Is Tora's contact on the contact we were talking about, was he on Delphin Prime?
I don't think he was there when Tora was there last, if that makes sense.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
What's the most relevant world-breaking thing we've noticed first? What is this place like? You said it's a hive city.
It's a hive city on an arid planet. Tora wasn't there long. He got in.
But is there anything notable about this place that you happen to know?
There's some nobility, I know, some kind of like higher up and movers and shakers of the segmentum on that planet.
Yeah, it's got quite
opulent estates.
Yeah, it's got quite a stratified class system, as many hive worlds do.
My head is I can't make out anything with all I know is that when I asked Lane to look at his data slate, he had the schematic or something of Delphus.
Wait, was there a mark? Was there a mark in like the top left?
Of the map, it was just a plain map of the hive city.
Okay, cool.
I'm just Well, the thing is, we have a lot of strange information, but I'm almost of the belief that what the reality we're experiencing isn't actually correct. How do we even, so to say, wake ourselves up from this? Unless you have other ideas, of course.
I was just gonna go back to sleep. Honestly,
Does sleep even matter? Or are we asleep right now?
no, don't do that.
Why?
Because why?
Yeah, fucking
Because I can
D6
barely
insanity points
conceptualize
there,
where I
please.
am right now. Let alone what we're in. Am I in a dream? Is this real? Is there a top that's spinning? I don't know.
There could be. Again, we literally summoned a dead person who then disappeared when we didn't look.
I have an idea. Why don't we go back to my bathroom, my room, and see if we can bring Willem, or a version of Willem kind of floating about, to us?
That's not how it works.
Yeah, but can I?
He-
Well, I'm gonna extend a hand because I don't think this will work, and I don't think this will work either. But just kind of be like, I can't just imagine I have an apple in my hand and there's an apple in my hand.
Well, you can try it, I guess.
Well, I am. That's the point.
And no apple appears.
Exactly. I don't think we can
Oh.
just make anything happen that we want. I think
No,
it
no,
needs
no.
relevancy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I appreciate your theory that this is a dream, but I think
We have to go
kind
deeper.
of. I think we when you're driving down a road and you get
No.
moved. I think we've been moved sideways rather than around to a slightly different road with a similar destination.
But does that? Why
So
would people disappear
because
in front of our eyes?
And then why would it come back?
We are of the one road, and the juxtaposition between the two roads, there's got to be a big no-no, and so reality would rewrite itself.
It can't. Okay, this is an area I don't understand very well. The
Me
warp.
either. He just used juxtaposition and big no-no.
Oh,
in
no.
this.
Is Tora real? Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm very accustomed to madness
brain
and
is
the ideas of my
expanding.
own.
my God.
I don't think this is madness.
Well, I'm just saying is like
Huh.
in the warp cannot things be and not be, come and go as they please.
I think if we Tora would like to pull the Venetian blinds and that they're standing next to outside Lane's office and twist them slightly to show the immaterium and go, that kind of is the whole is and is not right there.
So the window in Lane's office just showed the void. It was not the warp.
We're not
Wait,
in
wasn't-
Lane's office though, right?
No, but you
No,
were
we're
in there. But outside the window was just space.
Well, did anyone notice? I guess you're saying we noticed it, but yeah. When we look at this window, is it the void or is it
Which window are you looking at?
the Venetian blind window right outside Lane's office?
Of
apparently.
course,
Yeah.
that we've invented.
The one that's in the corner.
He's
between
got to
the
have a
office and
window.
the
He's got
workshop.
to. Lane would have
A
his
viewing
hallway
sport-
air conditioned, right? No, it'll be air conditioned. And as we have established, all of the Ipcrest's air conditioning units are attached to a window.
Maybe the entire adventure's been fake, and this is real.
It's real
Because
stuff.
there's
Yeah,
no air conditioners in space now.
you guys are
Oh my
really,
God.
you guys are really the frogs in a jar, being tapped
How
on by
Warwick
Tor.
retcons all of our dumb fucking gags.
Yeah.
Quick, we have to go to the armory door.
What do you guys want to do?
We want to zip it open.
Zip open the armory?
Yes.
Cool. Zzz. Yeah, windows open. That's space, baby.
The
Just
window's open.
As in, like, usually in the
blinds.
warp, in the
Oh.
warp, there are armored slats that come down over the window. That is not here. The window is open in that way.
Oh, that's not good.
But outside is just stars, just space.
That's not right.
Okay,
We know we're in the
but
warp.
even if that if we were in regular space, then things like people disappearing in front of our eyes shouldn't have happened.
Can I
We could be in a different period of time, but people would still not just disappear.
Can I compare the chronometer on my data slate to the wall
calendar in the armory?
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and just say I don't. While BGZ has not been able to say anything other than this ship is not a ship, his ship, I think that's a genuine statement.
I think the ship is the ship. It's not our ship. We're the wrong things here.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be here.
I turn off my brain.
No, I think as you compare the wall calendar, which is, I don't know, like fucking
It's a kitten actually on
Yeah,
there that's
thank
hanging onto
God.
a branch that says "hang in there," but it's
Yeah.
got a little like Cadian pattern helmet on it.
absolutely, it's the cutest thing ever. I think the calendar is from about a year prior.
Well, that tracks. That's the only thing that's made sense so far, other than your whole "this isn't madness" thing, which actually was kind of reassuring.
What's the plan?
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
I think you guys see that for Amelia, like she actually seems to be a bit panicked, like things don't make sense. And she's not sure what to do. There isn't logic in what she's viewing.
No kidding.
So illogically, what is the plan?
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, no, absolutely, it makes
yeah.
sense. Like this
I
is
think
beyond her.
seeing a dead person, specifically seeing Jewel again as well, just put her on edge. To have him disappear again as well.
Yeah, no kidding. That was okay. I don't know what to do here. I mean, if I go to the wow, I'm really out of sorts.
Amelia has actually just said, when I don't know what to do, I like to go to the garden, clear my mind. You guys think of what to do next, but that's where I'll be.
Cool.
I think
Tora would like to go and attempt to have a seance inside his new room.
and I think Lothar's going to go clean his rifle.
Okay. I think you go into the garden, Amelia. BGZ has returned there. He is in his sort of standard.
Did he teleport there, or did he walk with me?
When you get there, he is there.
Okay.
He wasn't with you at Guys in Lane's office.
Oh no, I thought he was with us the whole time. Okay.
No, sorry, he stayed up there.
That's fine.
I should have made that clearer.
No.
He is sat there with the mushrooms. He gives you a gentle nod as you walk in.
I log over to the little metallic sign that I've had with the names on it of people that I've been recording.
That is not there.
Yeah, I was curious because that was a more recent thing. And I just kind of looked at him. And
statue of a woman in the middle of the room does not have white flowers at the base of it. The white flowers that you produced.
Yeah. I kind of look to BGZ and I go to sit down with him and I just kind of repeat what he's been saying with a big sigh is, this ship is not this ship.
He repeats it back to you.
I'll end myself there for now.
Okay. Tora, in Lothar's old room, it's the room you know and love, just shifted a few meters to the southeast. What are you feeling? What are you doing?
Tora closes the door and turns the lights off, and then goes into the bathroom, turns the light off in the bathroom, then stands in front of the mirror. Goes,
okay.
Willem, sorry.
Me.
The Green Goblin from Spider-Man leaps out of the. All right, sorry.
Give me
William Dafoe.
He's here.
Spider-Man.
Or is actually being William the entire time. Or
Give
was
me-
the one who appeared to Lothar.
Give me
Listen, I'm a bit of a sadist myself.
Tora, as you look in the mirror in the dimness of the room, give me an awareness test flat, please.
Love to.
Wow.
You could
I'd
not
like
have
to use
failed that
Holy
any more
hell.
than you did.
Fate to auto pass.
I'd like to use a fate to auto pass. Yes.
Awesome. As you look in the mirror, I think you go to move some of the steam that's accumulated from what I assume is Tora's fantastic hygiene system. As you brush away some of the condensation on the mirror, briefly the reflection looking back at you, its hands matching your own, is not your own. There is a tall figure, taller than Tora, with their face in a rebreather mask. You blink and they are gone. They are thin, they are tall, they are lithe. Give me an intelligence roll to see if you remember who this is.
It's Willem's acolyte.
That is true.
Oh,
So do you
don't
want me
need
to
a
roll for it?
No, if Ogmind can do it, that's fine. It was
I think
briefly
it's something that long ago, and you remember it.
yeah.
Definitely.
That was Van Sarno for like a millisecond of a millisecond.
Or does his Willem. Nothing appears.
Nothing happens.
Then he changes to Vansano.
Again, nothing.
Fuck, how do you remember their name even?
That was phenomenal. I was very impressed by that.
Really
Oh,
got
he's been
brain
re-listening.
damage.
This is what the
Yeah,
Occupod's for.
that's what it is.
Oh, he's got the fucking
Cheating.
podcast lore.
What? Maybe someone's been listening to old episodes lately.
That's what we
What's he
just
like?
said.
Yeah. Yeah, Tori, you repeat names in the bathroom mirror, but nothing happens. Lothar, what's happening?
I think Lothar is trying to very much ignore the smell in his new room as much as he humanly can. With his back to the rest of the room, he's facing towards the door. He's got a little desk light on, and he is stripping and cleaning the long last that he's got. And he's just sitting there and just muttering different prayers of the Emperor to himself.
Yeah.
And just hoping against hope that the chill in the back of his spine that he feels is just his nerves. There's nothing actually there.
I think it is a nice rhythm, and I think it does help Lothar sort of settle his nerves for a moment. Amelia, could I get an awareness test, please?
I did have something I wanted to do.
Oh, no, sorry. Go
as
on first.
well. No, I mean, if this is happening as I'm just kind of...
yeah, give me an awareness test and then narrate what you're doing, and I'll see what happens.
Like I said, see what happens with you, and then I'll tell you what I want to do.
No, you go first.
Okay, well, I was going to say that BGC is just kind of sitting there, like, again, I just tell him, I can't understand anything you're saying currently other than these same words.
He, again, repeats something in binary, which is, again, this ship is not this ship.
I don't know if you're understanding me, but the only way I know to make a better connection is pull the thing out of the back of my neck, and I'm just gonna say it's like I'm gonna give you I don't know what to trust. I don't know if I can trust you. I'm gonna try, and I want to plug in and I'm just gonna give you full control. Show me why this ship isn't this ship. Show me something to make sense of this. And I just want to literally
fucking sick.
Turn myself off, basically.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So you're basically viewing entirely through BGZ's vision.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Okay. I think that it's odd seeing the world as BGZ. I mean, you've kind of had an overlay, I think, as as soon as you had your eyes augmented. BGZ's is very much more combat orientated. He's kind of viewing the world with an isometric grid overlaid, showing him the best ballistic patterns, that kind of thing. He looks at you, looks around the room. It looks much the same as it does. However, he does hear something, which his senses are not really calibrated to understand. Out in the corridor, he can hear music. It is a Imperial Waltz.
Oh.
I just want I guess to just establish what I'm doing here as well. It's like I would imagine I would have basic control over myself.
Yeah.
But I'm giving like BGZ is in like a greater level of control here.
Okay.
Whereas normally I would be. I think even I've made like a prayer to the Omnissiah before
Yeah.
this, something about I can't come up with a prayer off the top of my head. Not like not like Raph.
1010.
And I just say I just gonna say show me something.
BGZ repeats the prayer back to you. Again, he just says the ship is not the ship. He stands up and walks out of the gardens. You in tow.
I would imagine I'm kind of like hand on
Plodding along,
shoulder,
yeah.
like hold down to him.
He turns to the right, and something odd happens. Is that your vision kind of splits between the two of you. So, from BGZ's vision, what he can see as he looks right out of the gardens is the corridor going down. There's the right-hand side door to the guest rooms, then the audience chamber. What you can see is darkness. It is as black as the void. There are no stars in it. There is no shadows. It is formless and colorless.
Can I just make a clarification?
Yes.
BGZ is showing me the ship, but my own eyes are showing me nothing.
So no. So you can see the ship as well, but almost emanating from the audience chamber, slowly coming towards you by a couple of inches a second, or maybe an inch a second, is this darkness that is almost consuming that end of the ship.
But again, who is seeing it? Me or BGZ?
You are seeing it.
Okay.
BGZ is not. To BGZ, there is no darkness now.
For the moment, he's in control. So what he wants to do is what's happening.
Okay. I think he slowly walks towards it. The darkness comes.
Is this also
closer.
where the music is coming from?
It does seem to be. This is where the music's coming from.
I guess, like when we're at the door, I guess I'll kind of say
it is beyond the door and it's approaching.
Okay. Well, wherever he approaches but stops, just
I think he stops maybe 2 feet from it.
I'll just again repeat, I don't know if you understand my words either, but I only see blackness ahead.
It's almost as if there's no. It's not like the room is just dark. It's literally as if the textures have stopped loading from that side of the ship. It is just black.
Oh, it's pink and black.
It's pink and black, and you see error messages because you haven't installed Counter-Strike source.
You can see Lane T-posing, actually.
That's where
we finally got there. Remember,
point.
we discussed for a long time about how you put a bucket in the corner.
Right, again, you're saying black. You're not saying the hallway is. It's just I'm just seeing a void, a nothingness.
It is just not there anymore. I think he steps back and you follow. The darkness is approaching with the same speed as it always was. He repeats, the ship is not the ship.
Yeah, I guess I was just gonna say, can you guys come to the upper level near the audience chamber?
Do you guys come?
I don't want to break this connection yet because I'm not sure what I'm seeing.
Over the microbead, you would be hearing Lothar continuing with prayers and things like that. He's not listening right now.
Question that I meant to ask before. Now that I've seen his face, do I recognize the same long fingers from what I saw?
You couldn't see Van Zonner's face. It's a mirrored visor that they wear, but the fingers in reflection, I would say,
we saw...
yes, they seem to be identical to the one. It's almost like a full body sort of body glove.
Okay.
It's identical to the vid screen in Thalia's room.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
what would you guys like to do?
Well,
I
Lothar's
fucking
not
hate
responding,
this.
but what does Tora say?
Tora goes, on it, Chief.
Okay, well, I guess knowing that Tora's coming, we'll just
Okay.
be like,
By the time that you're able to get to them, Tora, I'm going to say the darkness has continued and is now. It is gone beyond the door of the gardens. It's now cut off. You're at the this junction going up to Thalia's room and back on the lift the way you have just
but
came.
again, BGZ is not seeing the darkness.
BGZ is not seeing the darkness.
No,
And like
can
I say,
Tora
it's
see the
like-
darkness?
Tora can
Like-
see the darkness, and you can also hear this lovely waltz.
Uh-oh.
So wait, Tora, I guess like you can see me connected and like holding on to BGZ, like I said, like I imagine like looking like weaker as I'm like giving him more control here too, like just like
Can we take 5 really quickly?
Absolutely.
I have just realised I'm bleeding quite badly in real life.
what?
What?
I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to cut now.
Just playing
I
a
assume.
Little, he's just
I
playing
assume
a little bit of
Knifey spoony.
Knifey spoony.
yeah, knifey spoony with his hands there or whatever.
I
like,
assume we'll be back soon, boys and girls at home. But if not, I hope you've enjoyed listening to the
I'm
Occupod.
so tempted to just walk into this though, but I do want to stress I'm giving BGZ like,
Yeah.
he's the one in control here. If he wants to go forward, and I go forward, I'm only giving
Okay.
suggestions.
Right, let's have a quick piss break and also
Yeah.
stem arterial bleeding break.
I'm fine. I don't gotta go to the bathroom, so I'll be here.
This is genuinely upsetting. Like, this is freaky. I like it,
I
but it's freaky.
really do not think it's a time thing. I think it's fuckery. I don't care that we're seeing regular space outside. It's
think-
clearly shit is being manipulated.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think because when we look out the window and we see there's space, there shouldn't be. We're in the warp. It should not be the
Well,
case right
are
now.
we though?
Well,
Here's my other
okay.
question. Here's the thing. What if something happened and
Mhm.
we are on Delphis Prime, and maybe
Okay.
we are in some sort of like containment. Maybe we are being fed whatever information to try to keep us, thinking we're in a place while people are messing around doing other stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of possibilities here.
There are the pieces of evidence that we have is that something is actively changing this shit in front of us just to drive us nuts, which does make me
I
think.
don't know about driving us nuts. I think it's more reactionary to, oh, fuck, we didn't think about that, or we didn't know that information, and therefore it changes reality to better fit the information as it's learning it. Now, that could be a demon. That could be the Lord fucking with us. That could also be technology fucking with us. Doesn't have to be warp
Hello.
shenanigans.
Pause it.
Welcome back.
Are you okay? What did you do?
Yeah. No. I just looked down and I realized I had blood all down my hand. I've nicked.
Oh, you like skinned your knuckle.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Og's
Yeah.
listening to a version of the podcast which is super immersive. So
He's bleeding out of his nose.
it's got Occupod Prime.
No, I've had this cut. I've had this cut on my nose. The dog trying to run out the door when we went on a walk. I scraped my hand quite badly against it, and it looks like I've just like bopped what was there off, and then also like nicked myself in between where my like finger and ring finger was.
See, I was going to
Ah.
cut this, but to be honest, you guys were chatting briefly, and I feel like the arterial bleeding has stopped, and I think the boys and girls at home will want to know that you're okay, Og. So I'm happy to continue now if the rest of us are, and I won't cut this
Absolutely.
section.
Also, I probably should say, if I can,
Yes.
it is really, really hard to find prayers in High Gothic via
Oh, yeah.
Google. I just want to put that out there.
That's
what I was
Lothar
trying to
can't speak
find.
High Gothic, can he?
No, but that's
Right.
not going to stop
Yeah,
him from
but-
trying. He's going to try
Points for trying.
everything.
I feel like the prayers would still be in High Gothic though.
Some of them,
That's-
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. The
So-
big lad prayers that
The big
Samuel knows.
To be
Yeah,
honest, I
he's-
think I
he's-
do have a couple like things from him from
Okay.
forever ago,
Yeah.
like some of
Yeah,
the skills.
but
and
also
things.
like look, Critter's a Catholic, and some of the prayers are in Latin.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
like, while the big priest probably does the better prayers
Have you
in
done
Latin,
enough worldly deeds, Critter?
Well, here's the thing: is that I can absolutely take like the Lord's Prayer, right? But I don't know how to say God Emperor in Latin. So, like, and I
Emperor
don't know how
Goddess.
Emperor
Yeah.
Goddess. Yeah, that's right. Nailed it.
Deus Imperator.
Emperor Goddess.
Shut the fuck up.
Deus Imperator.
Master, disciple, 7 seasons.
Now we've had a
Well,
Now
now
we've
we
had
can
the
get on Spotify.
Yeah,
Now
thanks a lot,
we've
guys.
been because our renditions of that were too good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Freddie Mercury's
no,
rolling in
no,
his
no.
grave. Now that our
Definitely
musical
finally gonna
interlude
come-
is complete, I'll be ready
Yes.
to continue.
Absolutely.
So you guys are basically at the doorway of the gardens, but this darkness is slowly encroaching.
Yeah.
BGZ is slowly backing away, and you are doing it also, Amelia.
But BGZ's not seeing the darkness,
He is not.
but he's still backing away.
Seems to be, yes.
Okay, now Laura, you come up, you see us connected, and you see the darkness. What is your, what do you say or offer? I'm waiting for you to come, but I don't necessarily know you've come yet.
I think he's up there now.
Yeah, Tora comes out. Guys, I saw the Santos.
It's
So what?
Sano. Fucking. Tora's
I'd like to
awful
point
memory
back
of
to
names.
any of the earlier times Tora has gotten people's names right.
Yeah.
There is one occasion where he
precedent.
was quite sane.
Yes. No, I just think it's a very funny thing that he's like, I've cracked the case. And he just gets the fucking name.
I guess Amelia's just gonna get a point
Who?
down the hallway. Is like, is anything there? Like, basically ignoring what you
Holy
just said.
fuck!
Yeah.
That's the least there stuff I've ever seen.
That's not just not something not there. There is nothingness there.
But through BGZ, it's still there.
I think over the microbead at this point, you'd hear Lothar finishing up a prayer, and in dark when the shadows are with us, the Emperor is with us in spirit and in fact. Sorry, I was in the middle of what's going on.
Can we establish one thing?
Yes.
Due to what is occurring, the microbeads are always open,
I'm going to
unless
say.
we state otherwise.
I'm going to assume yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that for
Tora-
roleplay purposes.
Tora pulls out a beer can that's on him
Yep.
and rolls it towards the darkness. Question is, does
Yes.
through BGZ's eyes, do they see the can roll into it? Does the can continue further into the darkness in BGZ's
I also like, instead of
perception?
casting fireball into the darkness,
I
it's
cast
Tora
beer.
casting beer.
So I think
I cast Tinny at level 2.
so. Some
Mhm.
interesting things happen here.
Okay.
So the beer can for Tora and Amelia, you hear it roll, and the moment it hits that darkness, it is gone. You no longer hear it rolling. You can no longer see it. Amelia, BGZ can still see that can rolling and hear it rolling as well.
Don't like this.
It is getting
Okay.
closer. I'm going to say you're at the corridor now of
I'm
Thalia's
just gonna
room.
say, for better or for worse, whatever, Amelia is really out of her depth, but she's putting her faith in BGZ. She don't know 100% if this is the real BGZ or not, but assuming that since he was with us this whole time and so on, that this is BGZ, is gonna trust this connection. And that being said, knowing what we're seeing versus what he's seeing is like, point being is that this isn't a fake BGZ like she assumes that Thalia and Lane and Ghoul might be. That this is the real BGZ.
Mm.
So I guess this is gonna mentally, through our connection, just ask, do we go forward or not?
BGZ looks to you and he says something. This ship is not this ship. This is
Don't
not this ship.
don't answer. No, I need
He
I
makes
need emotion or action.
He makes the sign of the cog across his chest and jumps forward into the darkness, taking you with him.
Okay.
Tora, she has disappeared. Darkness is getting closer now. I'm going to say it is now swallowed Thalia's corridor.
Amelia, Tora, what's going on?
At this point, I can I hear them? That's like,
Amelia,
Do we
Tora?
go into the darkness? There's a all-engrossing darkness of nothingness that seems to be eating our reality. That's not reflected for other people.
Oh my god, it's the
Wanna-
Langoliers.
Want to dive into it?
I hold on a
Cowabunga!
Alright, so Lothar's gonna gather all of his shit as much as he can out of the room.
Mhm.
Going to go up the lift and pop back out, I guess, to then meet up
It
with
is
Tora and to see this
almost at
darkness.
the lift now.
Also, only Tora's there.
Yes.
Where's Amelia? Tora?
What?
He tosses his cig into the
Tora.
darkness.
Where's Amelia?
He was right here with me before. No, sorry, I was answering a text. I was completely.
all right.
No, you're fine.
Okay, Amelia went in the darkness with BGZ. You
Okay.
mentioned that there's an encroaching darkness. You did not say shit about Amelia, and Lothar has now appeared.
Oh,
It's just you, and he said, "Where's Amelia?"
Where's Amelia?
she had to go.
What do you mean she had to go?
She had a lot going on.
and
She had to go.
If I might, for the imagery purpose of this, Lothar's got his foot in the door to the lift so it doesn't go
Yep.
back down again.
Yep.
So it just keeps dinging against his foot every so often as the darkness is encroaching.
Yeah, I'm going to say you guys need to make a decision of darkness or jumping back down the lift right now.
You said Amelia went in there, right?
I think we go into it. Yeah, she had to go into it. That's what I meant.
All right.
I don't know where things are going or if it's the right decision, but like I said, I'm putting my faith in BGZ for now.
I would
Well,
love if I could say, and that's the end of the campaign. Thanks everyone for listening.
So in
They
other
got the
words,
bad end.
jump in. Got it. All right. So Lothar then is going to take a last pistol in one hand. He's going to close his eyes. He's going to repeat to himself in a second a prayer, but offering a hand to Tora, saying, "Don't let go. We're going in."
Tora tweaks his butt and then jumps, pulling Lothar with him.
Okay. Amelia, with a scream, you find yourself lying on a gurney. Your body is wrapped in a medical gown. Various tubes and pipes are running into and out of your body, accounting for your bodily functions. The walls of the room you were in are the white sterile rooms of a hospital, but have been inscribed with twisting wards and sigils that dance as you look at them. At the end of your small room is a doorway. A vid camera is watching you from above. For you, there has been no time that has passed. You jumped into that darkness and immediately woke up with a scream.
Okay, so there's tubes in like my mouth and stuff too. Like
I'm going to say there's an oxygen mask over your mouth.
I think if she's waking up with a scream, it's gonna be like standing up straight in bed.
Yeah.
Not standing, sitting up straight
Yes.
and just like ripping that mask off to just take a breath of quote unquote real air.
Tastes good.
And also, mental note for the character and myself. She's almost gonna be like, I was right. It was the coma theory all along.
What would you like to do?
Oh, the classic. I'm going to pull the shit out of me and get out of bed.
Cool. I'm going to say, as a medical professional, you're able to do so safely. And yeah, you get out of bed. The vid camera pans, it watches you.
My next, I pull this stuff out, but I'm in a hospital gown, you say. So I'm checking spiders in my shoulder, things attached to me.
It appears you have your cybernetics as well, but you were pretty much nude. You were not in your regular clothing.
Oh, hospital gown, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I scan the room if my stuff is anywhere to be seen.
So as you're trying to scan, the walls are completely illegible. You cannot process information in this room for some reason.
Oh, okay. Might have just gone deeper into the dream world too.
No, because this is all a fucking bait and switch. It's actually timey-wimey stuff.
As a player, I'm pretty confident in thinking at this, before even this, I'm pretty confident in the coma theory where on Delphus Prime somebody's trying to get a message through to us. And being an intelligent character, quote unquote, I think that's kind of where Amelia was going with it as well.
Okay.
But the whole fuckery of the warp was still a possibility. The time stuff she threw out. I guess I tried the door.
Door is open. You find yourself in a sort of small corridor. There is a white door at the end of the walkway. There are two black doors on the left-hand side of this corridor.
So, like I said, when I say scanning around the room, I don't necessarily mean with technology.
Okay,
I just mean in general.
looking. It appears this is almost Spartan in its design. It's completely barren in here.
So here's my question, because this is what Amelia would do in her room and in the hallway. She looks without technology aiding, and then she looks without human aid. What is the difference in what she's seeing, if anything?
It appears to be stable. It appears to be identical no matter which spectrum you view things through.
Which further confirms her idea of the coma thing. Not necessarily that she was in a coma, but that blah, 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 whatever. We were somewhere unconscious. Okay, she's just going to keep trying to open doors and go somewhere.
The first door on your left, as you open it, you find Tora, who is hooked up to the same various Imperial medical machines that you were. I think as you go over to him, he wakes with a scream.
Oh my god, he's a Murloc.
I think she's gonna have a bit of a oh god, and like hold her, chest because he was not expecting it. And then quickly help him out of his equipment.
Oh god. Fuck and shit and fuck.
None of you feel good.
Yeah.
Who is shitting our dicks right now?
I do a quick glance. Tora, he's in the medical gown, I assume, as well.
Yeah.
I do a quick glance of him, the surroundings, etc. Does he have any of his stuff?
No.
So here's my one point. Noticing that I still have everything attached to me.
I'm gonna say you don't have your bolt pistol, or
in my leg,
and your hand cannon seems to have had its ammunition removed.
That's what I wanted to make sure. Okay, I'm mentally gonna notice that with my diagnostics.
Yes.
Blah blah blah.
What about Tora's hidden pistol?
I'm going to say that has also been skillfully unhidden and not on your body currently.
But can't I roll a check to see if they've missed it? Because I get a +20 to it.
I'm going to say they were thorough.
It just hits
What,
real
they
hard. Like those
they
frogs.
undressed me?
Those frogs weren't real.
Well, you were nude except for this hospital gown.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just-
So I'm unplugging Tora.
They checked up my butt because that's where the pistol goes.
I'm going to say it's one
Are
of
you
the old
saying that out
style.
loud?
Where's
Where's
my
my bum
and
pistol?
starts trying to find the pistol that he keeps hidden in his butt.
Because Amelia is professionally undoing your connections here.
Yeah, I just.
Did they even get the pistol up my butt?
Amelia, roll me over. Check my ass.
Tora? Instead of rolling you over, she just hugs you.
Aww.
Tora hugs back.
She's assuming this
What
is
is going
reality.
on?
I don't know for sure, but I think this is real.
Okay, I know. My love for you is real too.
but in a totally platonic
Okay,
way.
she just
Your
pushes you
Nicodendrite
back
scared
into
the
the
shit out
bed.
of me.
Just fuck off. Alright.
I bet this is
Let's
that
let's
Lothar
find
fucking...
Lothar and whoever else is here.
So I say you go open the next black door, and Lothar is similarly hooked up. A half second after you open the door, he wakes up. Or he doesn't.
Lothar's dead.
Oh, too bad.
Hello.
It's-
Is that you waking up? You're just like completely fine?
Yeah. Where am I?
Okay, I'll take the mask off so you can talk normal.
How come he didn't have an incubator tube down his throat? Why was that only me?
Incubator? What are you talking about? Where?
I get
With
you-
the big pipe that goes down.
What? No. I didn't need to. Where are we?
I
Weren't
don't
we just
know,
on-
but this seems far more real than what we were experiencing before.
We were on the
I
Ipcrest,
can
right?
tell you we're not on Al Jadar. There's no sand. Oh, mate, actually, Tora would like... Oh, no, because he's naked. Fuck. I was about to say, Tora would
Yeah, I
like to
noticed
check in
that.
his shoes to see if there's still the Al Jadarian sand.
You were barefoot,
But
naked, arse on show. Also, like, it's old style hospital gowns, not modern ones. Like,
What does
Did
that
you put-
mean?
I don't know if that's
Tor-
just as distinctly British things, but old
Ass
style
out.
No
hospital
back to
Pass
it.
gowns.
out?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Backless gowns.
Okay. Well,
Tor, did you put your gown on yourself?
was it backwards?
Look, it's just comfy. I feel much safer protecting my butt than I do my front.
He's wearing it like a cape.
That was the greatest fucking thing, Critter. That was the best fucking line.
I
just-
oh, fuck's sake. But yeah, you
God.
guys are all up and out of bed in various states of dress and nudity.
Were there any other doors?
No, it appeared there was only a few. Oh, apart from the white door that was at the end, but no more black doors.
Which I assume is not going to open.
I don't know.
What in
I'm
the?
not going to. No. There's only one way out, apparently.
Oh, good.
Point to the other door and head that way, I guess. Try to open it.
I guess Lothar's gonna follow suit. It's not like he's gonna have anything else here. He's gonna try and walk in front of Tora if he can help it.
I think the door slides open. Walking through it, you suddenly find yourself in brighter lights, your eyes soon adjusting. You've stumbled into a much larger room here. It's the same warded white as before. As your eyes focus, you can see arranged in two firing lines facing you with their hell guns raised are the stormtroopers. You spot Lane
Do you
standing amongst
recognise
them.
their insignias?
They are
Yep.
inquisitorial stormtroopers. You spot Lane amongst them, along with Thalia, BGZ, and Roseanne, the astropathic choir master. What in the name of the Emperor is
Dad.
going on?
That's kind of what we're hoping to figure out here too. Where are we right now?
You are, well, we are in some cells near the astropathic choir.
Themselves.
Yeah.
Why?
You've been in the coma, all of you, for 8 days.
I was 100% fucking right. It's just under my breath.
I hope you're saying that as loud as you can.
No, under my
Phenomenal.
breath.
You passed out pretty soon after getting into the hangar from Al Jadar, and you all couldn't be awoken. With what happened down there, we didn't want to run the risk of possession. And we thought this was the safest thing to do.
All right. Well, we're not possessed, so you can.
Roseanne,
Yeah, I'm not. I
the
don't have any of my pockets. You can't arrest me for possession. I've nothing on me.
the
It's all
choir
in my room.
master, the choir master, said, "Yes, I can't. There's no taint on them. Tell your men to stand down." Lane."
Wow.
Oh no!
No.
That's not exactly true.
Oh. Lane, with a hand gesture, motioned to the stormtroopers, and all of them lowered their hell guns.
Tora would like to make
find Gunner's insignia amongst it, and just stare him down. Because how dare he raise a weapon when we made him the man he is today?
He's not loyal to you. He's loyal to Lane.
I think
Let's remember that.
I know.
Despite the guns raised and whatnot, I want to move forward.
Okay, they lower their guns and let you come closer. It's a big room.
I just at this point, I just want to hug BGZ
Okay, I think he stands out and he embraces you.
because, like, it's him that helped me get out of it.
I
He
hope
says,
to God
"I
he
was
still...
praying for you."
Oh,
I just say thank you as Amelia starts crying.
Oh, Ave Omnissa, he says as he embraces you.
So, Lane, what was the All Blues versus the Grops' score?
Oh, I haven't followed that team for years.
Oh no!
What happened in your coma?
Well, you yelled at us, so nothing new.
Oh, nice.
I check my as he says that I do
your
like
data
look at my
slate,
data slate and see if there's anything.
You do
on
not
it.
have your data slate.
Oh, they took it out. Goddamn.
Yeah.
We've got questions, but when we asked you wherever or whenever we were, you've told us that we couldn't talk about it. So your call, Lane. Do you want to talk about it here and now, or do we want to go to your office?
I mean, we could talk about it here or now on one request, if that's okay.
That being,
Tora, can you flip your gown around, please?
Tora does. Tora
Thank you. I appreciate that.
This has got to do with Delphus Prime. If you want to have this conversation with the stormtroopers here,
His eyes go quite wide, and I think Thalia looks to him as well. Right. Okay. Go on.
all I know is that whatever hallucination or time or whatever it was, we were all linked in at the same time. Save or Famil, anyway. And the one thing that kept coming back was, for some reason, you, and pointing at Lane, and you, and pointing at Thalia, were dressed in regalia, and we hadn't yet gone to the Inquisitorium, and we kept hearing or seeing things about Delphus and schematics and someone being shot, and
yeah, Tora relays the video, what he saw in the video of like the armored figure in green and gold, like the long fingers of Van Santos pointing, and then the shadowy figure in green and gold opening fire.
So Roseanne clears her throat and says, Willem's acolyte Van Sano is a psyker. Is this some kind of psychic message, perhaps?
I did see him in the shitter.
What?
What?
She or he?
You've never known Van Sano's gender.
I saw Van. I went to. I was in the bathroom and I wiped some condensation from the mirror and I saw his face there for a moment.
This is odd, says Roseanne. It's
no shit.
So you were on the Ipcris. So Lane has kind of taken a step back. He's letting Roseanne deal with this. So, but things were odd.
We saw Jewel.
I just kind of like we saw the Ipcris up to a certain point, perhaps.
So before
the shit. I'm gonna say Inquisitorium, but what was the actual name?
It was officially the Inquisitorial Conclave, but I think Inquisitorium has just been how it's been referred to.
I joke. I just don't know if, like,
okay, it's canon now.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Sorry.
Like I said, I really gonna say, like, Amelia's like a hell of emotional with all that, because it really fucked with her not being able to rely on technology.
So that was when you last saw Van Sano, was it not?
Was.
And this Ipcress, it was almost like a pastiche of it then.
In a
like
way.
snapshot.
I don't know what that word means, but yeah.
It's a illusion. It's a creation of it. It's mimicry.
I'm never gonna understand psyker shit.
Well, that's what I'm here for. And she punches Lane on the elbow.
BGC would only tell me this ship was not this ship.
They all kind of look at him.
It was he who helped me out of it as well.
Odd, says BGZ.
Like, fuck you, say more than that.
Razan kind of looks at Lane and says, this is odd. It's almost like it's a intercepted astropathic message, but first of all, why would it come to you three? No offense. And
No, you can keep these.
yeah, but it must be immensely
Was your
powerful.
answering machine on?
No.
Like maybe they tried to dial you a couple times, but the answer wasn't taking the message. And then it came to us instead.
Lane clears his throat and says, "Oh, we've not even warp jumped yet. We're still in orbit of Al Jadar.
What?
We didn't want to risk anything with potential demonic possession, but we haven't moved. We're still in orbit of Al Jadar."
I kind of looked at Lothar. How
And Lothar
close
looks
are
up
you
at
even to me at this point? I walked
emotionally,
up
or
to hug. I walked up to hug BGZ. Remember?
but yeah, I remember that you walked up to.
Well, you know
hug
what?
BGZ.
Fuck it. I think Amelia's just like so out of her depth and emotional too. She just say, just to mention Willem, like and like the things we've seen and heard about him.
I think Lothar's gonna nod, and he's
Now-
gonna look Lane square in the eye.
What did Willem tell you?
Me?
Yeah.
Not to tell Lane shit.
Yeah.
But we've
yeah,
seen
that's why-
okay, but that specific conversation you've never told anybody else.
That is
No,
true.
Right?
I haven't.
Right, but we've seen Willem. I want to make sure our history is
Mhm.
correct.
Yeah.
We have
No, but,
seen
but
things
I
of
think
Willem
Lothar-
otherwise.
Lothar at the time when he appeared in the classroom and wrote the stuff, I'm pretty sure he told us then about
Yes.
Lane. Yeah. Which is why Tora, instead of when he was Tora was gonna go, oh, in the room that Lothar keeps seeing Willem, and that's why instead he
I
went,
just
oh
want
no,
to
I
make sure
was
the
just
history
in
is
the
correct and
bathroom.
Amelia knows what she knows. And again, I think emotions here are winning over logic, and she's just gonna say what she says.
Do it.
About maybe this all has to do with Willem.
All right, Lothar's gonna continue his gaze towards Lane.
Your
Is
old
Delphus Prime in the Segmentum Obscurus?
good question to ask, isn't it?
Well, Tora's been there. Would Tora
Oh
know?
yeah,
Probably not.
it is.
Lane, we've really got to figure something out here.
It sounds like you've been sent a message about Delphis Prime from one of Willem's acolytes is Van Sarno. But why Delphis?
Well, I'm gonna guess that something went bad, given that what we saw was first person of someone getting shot and probably killed.
Green
on
and gold.
repeat.
Yeah, armored figure in green and gold armor.
That's odd. Well, I guess we're going to Delphis Prime.
It sounds like it.
That's it's my home world actually. That's funnily enough where I grew up.
I don't even know how Lothar's going to react to that. I think he's just going to stare at him. It's just like, this feels weirder and weirder.
And weirder. It's probably a good point to end Dark Heresy for today. What an odd, confusing episode. I hope you enjoyed it.
When you fucking messaged me the other day during those can't wait to gaslight you all. I'm like, I thought we were going to gaslight them about what we spoke about, but instead,
This is
You
because you
gaslit
got
the-
scared in
Yeah.
Phasmophobia.
That is
isn't it?
100% correct, and I'm a petty, cruel GM.